The space around Earth's solar system rippled like water as massive ships emerged from hyperspace. One by one, the vessels of the Zephyrian Empire materialized in perfect formation. Their hulls gleamed with advanced metal that caught the distant light of Sol. The smallest ship was twice the size of Earth's largest space station. Admiral Vexithara stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator. His 4 eyes scanned the tactical displays showing the primitive world ahead. Earth hung in space like a blue marble, completely unaware of what was coming. The Admiral's scaled hands gripped the command rail as he studied the intelligence reports. His scouts had gathered over the past 6 months. The reports painted a clear picture. Humanity was a young species that had barely crawled out of their home system. They had a few orbital stations and some basic ships that moved between their planets. Their technology was crude compared to the Empire's standards. Most importantly, they had no real military presence in space. No defense networks, no battle fleets, no weapons that could threaten even a single Zephyrian destroyer. Commander Jake Morrison sat in the control room of Guardian Station, one of Earth's orbital platforms. The station orbited high above the planet, its purpose supposedly to monitor space traffic and maintain communications. Jake sipped his coffee as he watched his screens. The massive alien fleet had appeared an hour ago, but he remained calm. His fingers moved across the control panel with practiced ease. The communication system crackled to life. A harsh voice spoke in accented English through the speakers. Jake recognized the translation software working to convert the alien language. The message was simple and direct. Primitive humans of Earth, I am Admiral Vexithara of the Zephyrian Empire. Your world has been chosen for incorporation into our domain. You have 1 rotation of your planet to surrender completely. Resistance will result in the total destruction of your species. This is your only warning. Jake pressed a button to record the message. He then opened a secure channel to Earth's surface. Control, this is Guardian Station. We have received first contact from hostile alien forces. Transmitting full recording now. On Earth's surface, President Lisa Campbell received the emergency call in the middle of the night. She rushed to the Situation Room beneath the White House where her advisors were already gathering. The recorded alien message played through the speakers as everyone listened in stunned silence. General Paul Carter, the head of Earth's military forces, shook his head grimly. Madam President, our satellites show over 500 alien vessels in formation at the edge of our system. Each one appears to be larger than anything we've ever built. Our entire space fleet consists of maybe 30 ships, and most of those are transports. Secretary of Defense Robert Hayes studied the tactical display. Our weapons are designed for conflicts on Earth or maybe defending against asteroids. We have nothing that could engage enemy ships at that range or with that level of technology. President Campbell looked around the room at her advisors. Most faces showed fear or resignation. The situation seemed hopeless. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer, and it was arriving with overwhelming force. Dr. Helen Brooks, Earth's chief scientist and head of the Advanced Research Division, sat quietly at the far end of the table. While others debated response options, she seemed almost calm. Her fingers moved across a small device hidden in her lap. What about negotiations? Asked Secretary of State Mary Johnson. Maybe we can find some middle ground. Trade agreements, cultural exchange, something that doesn't involve our complete surrender. General Carter laughed bitterly. Did you hear that message? These aren't diplomats, they're conquerors. They gave us 1 day to surrender or face extinction. That's not negotiation. The president turned to Dr. Brooks. Helen, you've been quiet. What's your assessment of the situation? Dr. Brooks looked up from her device. The alien fleet is indeed massive and technologically advanced. However, I recommend we take the full 24 hours they've given us before making any decisions. A lot can happen in a day. A lot can happen? General. Carter stood up angrily. Helen, we're facing an invasion force that could wipe us out without breaking a sweat. What exactly do you think is going to happen in 1 day that changes anything? Dr. Brooks smiled slightly. Sometimes appearances can be deceiving, General. I suggest we wait and see what develops. High above Earth, Admiral Vexathera reviewed the human response. His communication officers had detected increased chatter from the planet's surface, but nothing that suggested military preparation. No ships moving to defensive positions, no weapon systems powering up, no evacuation of population centers. "They're not even trying to fight," commented his tactical officer, a young Zephyrian named Colron. "Most species at least attempt some kind of defense even when it's hopeless." The Admiral nodded. "These humans are particularly primitive. They probably don't even understand what real space combat involves. They're likely hoping we'll just go away." Captain Amy Rodriguez piloted her cargo vessel, the Wanderer, on its regular route between Earth and Mars. The ship appeared to be exactly what it claimed, a simple transport carrying supplies to the Mars colonies. Zephyrian sensors detected the vessel, but dismissed it as irrelevant civilian traffic. Amy's hands moved over her control panel, but not to adjust the ship's course. Hidden beneath the basic navigation controls were systems that no civilian vessel should possess. She opened an encrypted communication channel that bypassed all normal detection methods. "Shepherd to all stations. The wolves are at the door. Repeat, the wolves are at the door." Across the solar system, seemingly ordinary people received Amy's coded message. On Luna Base, Colonel Rick Hayes was officially overseeing mining operations on the moon's surface. The base appeared to be a simple industrial facility extracting resources for Earth's space program. Rick received the message while reviewing production reports. He walked to his private office and activated a communication system hidden behind a false wall. "Luna Base acknowledging. All systems are ready for activation on your command." At Ceres Station in the asteroid belt, Major Kate Sullivan supervised what appeared to be another mining operation. Her crews worked around the clock to extract valuable minerals from the asteroids. The Zephyrian scouts had cataloged the facility as purely commercial. Kate smiled as she read Amy's message. Near Jupiter, Lieutenant Ben Parker managed a research station studying the gas giant's atmosphere. His small team of scientists seemed completely focused on their academic work. The station's equipment looked like standard research instruments. Ben opened his own hidden communication system. "Jupiter station ready. All packages are in position." Dr. Brooks sat in her office deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The facility was officially known as the National Science Research Center. To any observer, it appeared to be exactly that. Scientists worked on various projects related to space exploration and Earth's environment. Helen activated a communication system that connected her to locations across Earth and throughout the solar system. Her message was simple. "Protocol 7 is now active. All stations report status." One by one, responses came in from locations that appeared to be completely civilian. A postal facility in Detroit, a farming community in Kansas, a fishing fleet off the coast of Maine, a manufacturing plant in Texas. Each location confirmed they were ready. President Campbell returned to her private quarters as dawn approached. She had spent the night in briefings and emergency planning sessions. Most of her advisors believed humanity faced extinction. Only Dr. Brooks seemed unconcerned, and she refused to explain her confidence. Lisa stood at her window, looking out at the Washington dawn. Somewhere above, an alien fleet waited to destroy everything humanity had built. In less than 24 hours, Earth would either surrender or face annihilation. She thought about her children, her grandchildren, and all the people counting on her to find a way through this crisis. The weight of responsibility felt crushing. How could one person make decisions that would determine the fate of the entire human race? Her secure phone rang. Dr. Brooks' voice came through clearly. "Madam President, I know this has been a difficult night, but I want you to know that humanity is not as defenseless as it appears. When the time comes, we'll be ready." "Ready for what, Helen?" "To show these invaders that they've made a terrible mistake." The Zephyrian fleet moved into invasion formation as Earth's day cycle continued. Admiral Vexathara watched his ships take their positions around the human world. Each vessel commander knew their role in what should be a simple conquest. The humans had 12 hours left to surrender. Commander Jake Morrison remained at his post on Guardian Station. The orbital platform continued its normal operations while alien warships surrounded Earth. Jake's crew went about their routine duties, monitoring communication traffic and maintaining the station's systems. To any observer, they seemed resigned to their fate. Jake opened a maintenance panel and retrieved a small device. His fingers entered a complex code sequence. Hidden throughout the station, systems that had remained dormant for years began to quietly activate. Power flowed to sections that officially didn't exist on any blueprint. On Earth's surface, people went about their daily lives with forced normalcy. News broadcasts showed the alien fleet hanging in space like a sword over humanity's head. Governments around the world held emergency sessions. Military forces prepared for an invasion they couldn't hope to stop. President Campbell met with world leaders through secure video channels. The Chinese premier looked grim as he reported his military's assessment. The Russian president spoke bluntly about their lack of options. The European Union's leadership was divided on whether to attempt negotiation or prepare for the worst. Our combined military forces might be able to inflict some casualties, reported General Carter during the global conference. But we're looking at hundreds of advanced alien warships. Even if we could destroy 10 or 20 of them, the remainder would still overwhelm us completely. Dr. Brooks listened to the discussions from her position at the table. While world leaders debated humanity's hopeless situation, she continued to work with her hidden device. Messages flowed through secure channels that existed outside normal communication networks. Admiral Vexathara decided to demonstrate the Empire's power. He selected an abandoned space station that orbited between Earth and Mars. The facility had once served as a refueling stop for cargo ships, but had been closed for several years due to budget cuts. "Target that structure," the Admiral commanded. "Use minimum power. We want the humans to see what happens to those who resist the Empire." A single Zephyrian destroyer fired its main weapon. The beam of energy crossed the distance in seconds. The abandoned station disappeared in a flash of light, leaving only scattered debris. The destroyer's weapon had used less than 1% of its total capacity. Earth's governments received the message clearly. Video of the station's destruction played on every news channel. The alien weapon had completely vaporized a structure that would have taken humanity months to destroy using conventional explosives. Captain Amy Rodriguez continued her cargo run between Earth and Mars. Her ship, the Wanderer, maintained its scheduled route despite the alien presence. Zephyrian sensors tracked the vessel but classified it as harmless civilian traffic. The aliens saw no threat from a simple cargo hauler. Amy's fingers danced over hidden controls built into the ship's navigation system. The Wanderer appeared to be following standard shipping lanes, but its actual position was precisely calculated for reasons the aliens couldn't imagine. Similar ships throughout the solar system moved to equally specific coordinates. Colonel Rick Hayes supervised mining operations on Luna Base as if nothing had changed. His crews continued their work extracting resources from beneath the moon's surface. The base's industrial equipment operated normally, giving every appearance of routine commercial activity. Rick walked through the mining tunnels, inspecting equipment and checking production reports. But his real attention focused on systems, hidden deep beneath the lunar surface. Excavation work that had taken years to complete was finally ready to serve its true purpose. Major Kate Sullivan maintained her cover at Ceres Station in the asteroid belt. Her teams worked around the clock, mining valuable minerals from the space rocks. The Zephyrian scouts had dismissed the facility as purely commercial. The Major encouraged this misconception by maintaining normal operations. Kate's office overlooked the mining platform where massive machines broke apart asteroids. The equipment looked exactly like standard mining gear. Only Kate knew that each machine was designed for dual purposes. With the right commands, the industrial hardware could be rapidly reconfigured. Lieutenant Ben Parker kept his research station near Jupiter operating normally. His small team of scientists continued their studies of the gas giant's atmosphere and magnetic field. Their work appeared to be purely academic with no military applications. Ben reviewed atmospheric data while keeping track of the alien fleet's movements. His instruments detected the electromagnetic signatures of the Zephyrian ships, but the readings looked like routine scientific observations. The research station seemed completely irrelevant to any military situation. Dr. Brooks coordinated the global response from her facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. Officially, she was working with other scientists to analyze the alien technology and assess humanity's options. In reality, she was managing the most complex operation in human history. Her communication system connected to locations across the globe. In Detroit, a postal worker named Carl Stevens confirmed that his facility was ready. The building appeared to be a simple mail processing center, but Carl's team had spent years preparing for this moment. In Kansas, farmer Joe Miller reported that his operation was ready for harvest. His wheat fields looked completely normal from above, but underground systems had been carefully installed over many growing seasons. Joe's agricultural equipment had capabilities that no farming machinery should possess. Off the coast of Maine, fishing boat captain Steve Walsh checked his nets while monitoring the alien fleet. His vessel looked like dozens of other fishing boats working the Atlantic waters. The Zephyrian sensors classified it as simple commercial fishing activity. President Campbell held another emergency cabinet meeting as the deadline approached. Intelligence reports showed the alien fleet had now surrounded Earth completely. Every major population center was within range of their weapons. The demonstration at the abandoned space station had made their capabilities clear. "We have 6 hours left," General Carter announced. "I recommend we consider surrender. At least some of humanity might survive under alien rule." Secretary of State Mary Johnson nodded agreement. "The alternative is extinction. Maybe we can negotiate better terms once they see we're not going to fight." President Campbell looked around the room at her advisors. Most faces showed defeat and resignation. Only Dr. Brooks seemed untroubled by their situation. The scientist continued working with her hidden device as if the alien invasion was merely an inconvenience. "Helen, you keep saying we should wait, but wait for what? What could possibly change our situation in the next few hours?" Dr. Brooks looked up from her device. "Madam President, sometimes the best defense is to let your enemy think they've already won. The Zephyrians believe they're facing a primitive, defenseless world. They've positioned their fleet based on that assumption. And what if they're right? What if we are defenseless? Then we'll face the consequences, but if they're wrong, if their assumptions are based on incomplete information, then they've made a fatal error in judgment." Admiral Vexithara reviewed the final preparations for conquest. His fleet commanders reported their ships were ready for the assault. The human world showed no signs of military preparation. No weapons systems had powered up. No defense fleets had mobilized. No population centers were being evacuated. "They're not even trying," observed Tactical Officer Colron. "Most species attempt some kind of resistance, even when it's hopeless." The Admiral studied Earth through the viewport. The blue world hung peacefully in space, its cities glowing with electric light. The planet looked as defenseless as his intelligence reports had suggested. "Perhaps they're simply too primitive to understand what's happening," Vexithara mused. "Some species never develop beyond basic tool use. These humans might not even comprehend the concept of interstellar warfare." The communication officer approached with the latest intelligence update. "Admiral, our sensors continue to show minimal military activity on the planet's surface. Their space traffic consists entirely of civilian vessels. We've detected no weapons, systems capable of engaging our fleet." Commander Jake Morrison received a priority message on Guardian Station. The text was simple but carried enormous significance. "All shepherds report to stations. The sheep are ready for counting." Jake opened a secure channel to similar stations throughout Earth's orbital space. Each platform appeared to be exactly what it claimed to be: communication relays, research facilities, or traffic control centers. The Zephyrian fleet had dismissed them as civilian infrastructure not worth targeting. "This is Guardian Station to all orbital facilities. Confirm readiness for evening operations." One by one, responses came back from platforms around Earth. Each station confirmed they were ready for what was coming. The alien fleet had positioned itself based on incomplete information about humanity's true capabilities. Captain Amy Rodriguez checked her chronometer as the Wanderer continued its cargo run. The ship maintained its scheduled route while alien warships filled the space around Earth. Admiral Vexithera stood on the bridge of the Dominator as Earth's final hour approached. His tactical displays showed the Zephyrian fleet in perfect formation around the human world. 512 vessels waited for his command to begin the conquest. The primitive planet below showed no signs of preparing for battle. The Admiral addressed his fleet commanders through the communication system. His voice carried the confidence of someone who had conquered dozens of worlds. Officers of the Empire, in 1 hour we will add another system to our domain. Intelligence reports confirm the humans have no significant military capability. This will be a simple demonstration of Imperial power. Commander Jake Morrison sat in the control room of Guardian Station, watching the alien fleet through his screens. The orbital platform continued its normal operations while warships surrounded Earth. Jake's coffee had gone cold hours ago, but he remained focused on his instruments. He opened what appeared to be a routine maintenance panel and entered a code sequence. Deep within Guardian Station, systems that had remained hidden for years began their final preparation cycle. Power flowed to sections that didn't exist on any official blueprint. The station's true purpose was about to be revealed. President Campbell stood in the Situation Room beneath the White House. Her advisors had spent the day preparing for humanity's surrender. General Carter had drafted terms that might allow some humans to survive under alien rule. Secretary Johnson had written speeches explaining why resistance was impossible. "Madam President," General Carter said quietly, "we have 58 minutes left. I recommend we transmit our surrender now and hope they show mercy." Campbell looked around the room at faces filled with defeat and despair. Only Dr. Brooks seemed calm as she worked with her hidden device. The scientist had been sending encrypted messages throughout the day, but she refused to explain what she was doing. "Helen," the president said, "if you know something that could help us, now is the time to share it." Dr. Brooks looked up from her device. "Sometimes the best way to catch a predator is to let them think they're hunting prey. The Zephyrians have positioned their fleet based on the assumption that we're helpless. That assumption is about to cost them everything." Captain Amy Rodriguez guided the Wanderer along its cargo route between Earth and Mars. Her ship appeared to be conducting normal business despite the alien invasion fleet. Zephyrian sensors tracked the vessel but dismissed it as irrelevant civilian traffic. Amy checked her navigation display, but her real attention focused on coordinates that had nothing to do with cargo delivery. The Wanderer was positioned exactly where it needed to be for the operation ahead. Similar ships throughout the solar system had moved to equally precise locations. She opened an encrypted communication channel. "Shepard 1 to all vessels. Final position check. Confirm readiness for evening operations." Responses came from ships across the solar system. Each vessel appeared to be exactly what it claimed: cargo haulers, research ships, passenger transports. The alien fleet had classified them all as harmless civilian traffic. That classification was about to prove fatal. Colonel Rick Hayes walked through the mining tunnels beneath Luna Base. His crews continued their work extracting resources from the moon's surface. The operation appeared to be purely commercial, focused on supporting Earth's space program with raw materials. Rick stopped at a section of tunnel that looked like all the others. He placed his hand on what seemed to be a routine control panel. The scanner read his biometrics and activated systems hidden deep beneath the lunar surface. Years of excavation work was about to serve its true purpose. The mining equipment scattered across the moon's surface looked exactly like standard industrial machinery. Only Rick knew that each machine could be rapidly reconfigured with the right commands. The Zephyrians had dismissed Luna Base as purely commercial. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Major Kate Sullivan supervised operations at Ceres Station in the asteroid belt. Her teams worked around the clock mining valuable minerals from the space rocks. The facility appeared to be exactly what it claimed: a commercial operation extracting resources for Earth's industrial needs. Kate reviewed production reports while monitoring the alien fleet's movements. The Zephyrian scouts had cataloged her station as purely civilian infrastructure. They saw massive mining equipment breaking apart asteroids for their mineral content. They didn't see the dual-purpose design hidden in every machine. She activated a communication system built into her office controls. Series stationed to all belt facilities. Confirm mining equipment is ready for special extraction procedures. Similar stations throughout the asteroid belt responded. Each facility appeared to be conducting routine mining operations. The aliens had classified them as irrelevant to any military situation. That assessment was about to change dramatically. Lieutenant Ben Parker maintained his research station near Jupiter. His small team of scientists continued studying the gas giant's atmosphere and magnetic field. Their work appeared to be purely academic, with no practical applications for defense or warfare. Ben reviewed atmospheric data while tracking electromagnetic signatures from the alien fleet. His instruments looked like standard scientific equipment, designed for studying planetary phenomena. The Zephyrian scanners had detected the research activity, but classified it as harmless academic work. He opened a communication channel hidden within his scientific data streams. Jupiter Station confirming all research packages are ready for field testing. Atmospheric conditions are optimal for experimental procedures. The response came from Dr. Brooks's facility on Earth. Acknowledged, Jupiter Station. Prepare to begin. Field testing on my command. Dr. Brooks coordinated the final preparations from her command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. To any observer, her facility appeared to be conducting scientific research and analysis of the alien technology. In reality, she was managing the most complex military operation in human history. Her communication system connected to locations across the globe. Each site appeared to be exactly what it claimed to be: civilian infrastructure with no military significance. The aliens had dismissed them all as irrelevant to their conquest plans. In Detroit, postal worker Carl Stevens confirmed his facility was ready. The mail processing center looked completely normal from above, but underground systems had been prepared for this moment. Carl's team had spent years training for an operation that few people knew existed. In Kansas, farmer Joe Miller reported his fields were ready for harvest. His wheat crops looked like thousands of other farms across the American Midwest. The Zephyrian sensors detected standard agricultural activity. They didn't detect the systems hidden beneath the farmland. Off the coast of Maine, fishing boat captain Steve Walsh prepared his nets while monitoring the alien fleet. His vessel looked like dozens of other fishing boats working the Atlantic waters. The alien scanners classified it as simple commercial fishing. They were about to discover how wrong that classification was. President Campbell received reports from military bases around the world. Every installation was preparing for invasion by forces they couldn't hope to defeat. Nuclear weapons were being readied as a last resort, even though they would likely be ineffective against advanced alien technology. 40 minutes left, General Carter announced. Madam President, we need to make a decision. Do we surrender or do we fight a battle we cannot win? Campbell looked at Dr. Brooks, who continued working with her hidden device. The scientist seemed completely unconcerned by humanity's approaching doom. Her fingers moved across controls with the confidence of someone following a well-rehearsed plan. Helen, if you have some kind of secret weapon, now is the time to use it. The secret isn't a weapon, Madam President. The secret is that we're not who the aliens think we are. Admiral Vestan reviewed the final attack preparations. His fleet commanders reported complete readiness for the assault. Earth showed no military response to their presence. No weapon systems had powered up. No defense fleets had mobilized. No evacuation procedures were in progress. Tactical assessment, he commanded. Officer Colron consulted his displays. Admiral, human military capability remains minimal. We've detected no weapons systems capable of engaging our fleet. Their space traffic consists entirely of civilian vessels conducting routine operations. The planet appears completely defenseless. Vestan studied Earth through the main viewport. The blue world hung peacefully in space with its cities glowing in the darkness. Weather patterns swirled across the continents. It looked like paradise waiting to be claimed. Begin final countdown, he ordered. In 30 minutes, we will demonstrate imperial power to these primitive beings. Commander Jake Morrison received the final authorization codes on Guardian Station. The message was brief but carried enormous significance. Evening hunt begins in 30 minutes. All shepherds take positions. Jake opened secure channels to orbital facilities throughout Earth space. Each platform had maintained its civilian cover while alien warships positioned themselves around the planet. The Zephyrian fleet had dismissed the stations as harmless infrastructure. They were about to learn the truth. All orbital facilities. This is Guardian Station. 30 minutes to evening operations, final system checks now. The ultimatum expired at exactly midnight Earth time. Admiral Vex Thara gave the command his fleet had been waiting for. Begin the conquest of Earth. Show these primitives the power of the Empire. The Zephyrian warships moved into final attack. Formation. Their weapons charged with energy that could level cities. Admiral Vex Thara expected the battle to last no more than 10 minutes. How could primitive humans resist the might of 500 advanced warships? At exactly 10 minutes, after midnight, humanity revealed its true nature. Commander Jake Morrison pressed a sequence of buttons on Guardian Station. The orbital platform began to transform before the eyes of the stunned Zephyrian fleet. What had appeared to be simple communication arrays rotated and reconfigured themselves. The civilian space station revealed massive railguns that had been hidden in plain sight. Jake's voice carried across encrypted channels to similar platforms throughout Earth's orbital space. All stations, this is Guardian. Evening hunt is now active. Engage all targets. 27 orbital facilities that had appeared to be civilian infrastructure suddenly dropped their disguises. Communication relays became weapon platforms. Research stations revealed defensive systems. Traffic control centers deployed advanced targeting systems. The Zephyrians had ignored them all as harmless civilian equipment. Captain Amy Rodriguez smiled as the Wanderer transformed around her. The cargo ship's hull plates shifted and reconfigured. Hidden weapon systems deployed from concealed compartments. Advanced shielding activated as the vessel revealed its true military nature. The simple cargo hauler became a state-of-the-art destroyer. Throughout the solar system, similar transformations occurred as civilian ships revealed their dual purposes. Cargo haulers became warships. Research vessels deployed advanced weapons. Passenger transports activated military-grade defense systems. The Zephyrian fleet had dismissed them all as irrelevant civilian traffic. Amy opened communication channels to the transformed fleet. All vessels, this is Shepherd 1. The sheep have become wolves. Begin hunting operations. Colonel Rick Hayes activated the final sequence on Luna Base. The mining equipment scattered across the moon's surface began its transformation. Massive drilling machines rotated to reveal planetary defense cannons. Industrial excavators deployed long-range weapon systems. The entire lunar surface became a fortress. The mining tunnels that honeycombed the moon revealed their true purpose. They weren't for resource extraction. They were weapon emplacements designed to turn Earth's satellite into the most heavily armed defensive position in human history. Years of apparent commercial mining had been an elaborate cover for military construction. Rick coordinated with defensive installations across the lunar surface. All lunar batteries, this is base command. We are weapons-free. Target the enemy. Fleet and fire at will. The first barrage from Luna Base caught the Zephyrian fleet completely by surprise. Weapons that dwarfed anything in the alien arsenal opened fire from positions they had dismissed as civilian mining operations. The nearest Zephyrian destroyer disappeared in a flash of energy that outclassed their most advanced technology. Major. Kate Sullivan activated the transformation systems at Ceres Station. Throughout the asteroid belt, mining facilities revealed their true nature. The massive equipment that had been breaking apart asteroids for mineral extraction reconfigured itself for military purposes. Industrial machinery became weapons of unprecedented power. The asteroids themselves had been modified during years of apparent mining operations. What looked like routine excavation had actually been the construction of forward military bases. Each facility was positioned to create overlapping fields of fire that could destroy any fleet trying to approach Earth. Kate opened channels to installations throughout the belt. All asteroid facilities, this is Ceres Command. The mining operation is now complete. Harvest all foreign objects in our territory. The asteroid belt erupted with weapons fire, as dozens of facilities opened fire simultaneously. The Zephyrian fleet found themselves caught in a crossfire from positions they had cataloged as purely civilian infrastructure. Advanced alien warships began disappearing under the assault from weapons they couldn't have imagined. Lieutenant Ben Parker initiated the final phase at Jupiter Station, the research facility that had appeared to be studying atmospheric phenomena, revealed systems hidden within the gas giant's massive magnetosphere. What had looked like scientific instruments were actually components of a weapon system that used Jupiter itself as a power source. Ben coordinated with similar installations throughout the outer system. All deep space facilities. This is Jupiter. Research. The atmospheric studies are complete. Begin weather modification procedures. Energy beams lanced out from positions near Jupiter, Saturn, and beyond. The Zephyrian rearguard found themselves under attack from weapons that drew power from entire planets. Ships that had seemed safely positioned in the outer system came under assault from installations they had never detected. Dr. Brooks activated the Terra Defense Network from her command center beneath the Rocky Mountains. Across Earth's surface, the planet's true nature was revealed. Every major population center had been hiding military installations beneath civilian infrastructure. In Detroit, postal worker Carl Stevens opened his facility to reveal missile launch systems. The mail processing center was a cover for one of dozens of hidden military bases scattered across the continent. Carl's team had trained for years to operate weapon systems disguised as civilian equipment. In Kansas, farmer Joe Miller activated systems hidden beneath his wheat fields. The agricultural land concealed missile silos that had been constructed during routine farming operations. Joe's harvesting equipment reconfigured itself to reveal military hardware that had been hiding in plain sight. Off the coast of Maine, fishing boat Captain Steve Walsh dropped the civilian cover from his vessel. The fishing boat revealed advanced torpedo systems designed for space combat. Similar vessels throughout Earth's oceans activated weapon systems hidden beneath innocent maritime equipment. President Campbell watched from the Situation Room as the truth about humanity's preparations was finally revealed. Every screen showed the same incredible sight: Earth transforming from a defenseless world into the most heavily fortified planet in the galaxy. "My God," breathed General Carter. "How long have we been preparing for this?" Dr. Brooks smiled as she coordinated the Global Defense Network. "We've been ready for first contact since the early 2000s. The question was never whether aliens would find us. The question was whether they would be friends or enemies. We prepared for both possibilities." Admiral Vexathera stared in shock as his mighty fleet came under assault from every direction. The primitive planet he had come to conquer was revealing weapon systems that exceeded Zephyrian technology by generations. His advanced warships were being systematically destroyed by forces that shouldn't have existed. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his tactical officer. "Our intelligence reports confirmed they were primitive. No advanced weapons, no military space presence, no defensive systems." Officer Coloran worked frantically at his controls as enemy fire bracketed the Dominator. "Admiral, they appear to have been hiding their true capabilities. Every civilian facility we detected was actually a military installation in disguise." The main display showed the destruction of Zephyrian vessels throughout the solar system. Ships that had seemed invincible were being vaporized by weapons that had been completely invisible to their sensors. The Empire's most advanced fleet was being torn apart by an enemy they had fatally underestimated. Commander Jake Morrison coordinated the orbital defense platforms as they unleashed devastating firepower on the alien fleet. Guardian stations. Weapon systems operated far beyond anything the Zephyrians possessed. Each shot from the railguns completely destroyed enemy vessels that had seemed impregnable. Jake opened channels to ground-based command. "Dr. Brooks, this is Guardian Station. Orbital defenses are fully operational. Enemy fleet is taking catastrophic losses. They appear to be attempting to regroup." Captain Amy Rodriguez led the transformed civilian fleet as they engaged Zephyrian warships throughout near-Earth space. The vessels that had appeared to be harmless cargo ships and research vessels were demonstrating combat capabilities that outclassed the alien technology. The Wanderer alone had destroyed 3 Zephyrian cruisers in the first 5 minutes of combat. Amy's weapon systems were more advanced than anything the Empire had ever encountered. Similar ships throughout the solar system were achieving equally devastating results. Colonel Rick Hayes coordinated the Lunar Defense Network as it systematically eliminated enemy vessels. The weapons hidden beneath the moon's surface were proving to be far superior to Zephyrian technology. Each shot from the lunar batteries was destroying ships that should have been able to withstand massive punishment. The Zephyrian fleet was discovering that their intelligence had been completely wrong. Earth wasn't a primitive world waiting for conquest. It was a fortress that had been preparing for this moment for decades. Every civilian facility had been a military installation in disguise. Major Kate Sullivan watched as the asteroid belt installations tore apart the alien fleet's flanking forces. The Zephyrian Empire's retreat became a complete rout within minutes. Admiral Vexathera watched in horror as his once mighty fleet was systematically destroyed by weapons that shouldn't have existed. Of the 512 vessels that had arrived to conquer Earth, fewer than 50 would survive to carry word of humanity's true nature back to the Empire. Commander Jake Morrison coordinated the orbital defense platforms as they delivered precision strikes against fleeing enemy vessels. Guardian Station's railguns operated with surgical accuracy, targeting command ships and carriers while allowing smaller vessels to escape. The message needed to be delivered to the Empire's leadership. Dr. Brooks, this is Guardian Station. Enemy fleet is in full retreat. Shall we pursue and eliminate the remainder? Dr. Brooks's voice came back calm and controlled. Negative, Guardian. Allow approximately 50 vessels to escape. The Empire needs to understand what happened here today. Captain Amy Rodriguez led her squadron of transformed vessels as they herded the surviving Zephyrian ships toward the edge of the solar system. The Wanderer and its sister ships could have easily destroyed the remaining aliens, but their orders were specific. Some had to survive to tell the story. Amy opened channels to the fleeing enemy. Attention, Zephyrian vessels. You are being allowed to leave this system to carry a message to your empire. Earth is under the protection of humanity. Any future hostile actions will result in the complete destruction of your civilization. Colonel Rick Hayes monitored the Lunar Defense Network as it powered down to standby mode. The weapons hidden beneath the moon's surface had proven devastating against alien technology. The mining equipment that had fooled Zephyrian intelligence was actually the most advanced military hardware humanity had ever built. Rick opened a secure channel to Earth Command. Luna base to control, all systems functioning normally. The mining operation was a complete success. Recommend continuing normal extraction procedures. The message was coded, but its meaning was clear. The deception had worked perfectly. The aliens had seen exactly what humanity wanted them to see until it was too late to matter. Major Kate Sullivan supervised the stand-down procedures at Ceres Station. Throughout the asteroid belt, facilities that had revealed themselves as military installations began returning to their mining covers. The dual-purpose equipment would resume its civilian operations while remaining ready for future threats. Kate reviewed the battle reports from installations across the belt. Every facility had performed beyond expectations. The years spent maintaining civilian covers while secretly building the galaxy's most advanced defensive network had paid off completely. Lieutenant Ben Parker oversaw the shutdown of deep space weapons systems. The installations near Jupiter and beyond began powering down their military functions while resuming normal research operations. The academic cover that had fooled alien scouts would continue to hide humanity's true capabilities. Ben transmitted his final battle report to Earth. Jupiter Station to control. All research packages performed within expected parameters. Recommend continuing atmospheric studies as planned. Dr. Brooks coordinated the global stand-down from her command center. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, humanity's military installations began returning to their civilian covers. The deception that had taken decades to perfect would continue indefinitely. She activated her communication system to address the network of hidden facilities. All stations, this is Shepard Prime. The evening hunt is complete. Return to normal flock management procedures. Well done, everyone. President Campbell stood in the Situation Room watching the aftermath of humanity's first interstellar war. The battle that everyone had expected to last hours had been decided in less than 10 minutes. Earth hadn't just survived alien invasion. It had demonstrated military superiority that redefined humanity's place in galactic politics. "How long have we been planning this?" she asked Dr. Brooks. "Since 1952, when we first detected signs of intelligent communication from other star systems. We've been monitoring galactic civilization for over 70 years. The Zephyrian Empire wasn't our first contact with aliens. They were just the first species foolish enough to threaten us." General Carter stared at the tactical displays showing the destruction of the alien fleet. "You're telling me we've known about aliens for 70 years and kept it secret?" Dr. Brooks nodded. "We've been in contact with 17 different species. Most of them are peaceful traders or explorers, but we identified several aggressive civilizations that might eventually threaten Earth. We've been preparing for this possibility since the Eisenhower administration." Admiral Vexathara transmitted his final report to the Empire from his damaged flagship. The Dominator had barely escaped Earth's solar system, with its hull breached and most systems failing. His fleet was gone. His reputation was destroyed. His Empire faced a threat they had never imagined possible. "The humans are not primitive," he reported to the Imperial Council. "They are the most advanced military civilization we have ever encountered. Their weapons technology exceeds our best systems by centuries. Earth is not a target for conquest. It is a fortress that could destroy our entire empire." The Council's response came back immediately. "Admiral, your report defies credibility. How could a primitive species possess such capabilities?" "Because they are not primitive. They have been monitoring galactic civilization for decades. They know about the Empire. They know about our military capabilities. They prepared specifically to counter our invasion tactics. Earth is a trap disguised as a paradise." Commander Jake Morrison supervised the return of Guardian Station to its civilian cover. The orbital platform's weapon systems retracted and concealed themselves behind fake communication equipment. Within hours, the station would look exactly like a harmless civilian facility. Jake activated the cover story that had been prepared years in advance. "Guardian Station to Earth Control. We experienced several system malfunctions during the electromagnetic disturbance caused by the alien fleet. All systems are now back to normal civilian operations." Captain Amy Rodriguez guided the Wanderer back to its cargo route between Earth and Mars. The military destroyer transformed back into an innocent civilian vessel. Its weapon systems concealed themselves behind fake cargo containers and mining equipment. Amy resumed her cover identity as a simple transport captain. "Wanderer to Mars Control. Sorry for the communication blackout during the alien incident. We're back on schedule for normal cargo delivery." Similar ships throughout the solar system returned to their civilian covers. The most advanced military fleet in human history disappeared back into the disguise of routine commercial traffic. Colonel Rick Hayes oversaw the return of Luna Base to its mining cover. The weapon systems that had devastated the Zephyrian fleet retracted beneath the lunar surface. The mining equipment resumed its dual role of resource extraction and military camouflage. Rick activated the prepared cover story. "Luna Base 2. Earth Control. Mining operations were temporarily suspended during the alien incident for safety reasons. We're now resuming normal extraction procedures." The moon that had served as humanity's primary fortress returned to its disguise as a simple mining operation. The Zephyrian survivors would report what they had seen, but future alien visitors would find only innocent civilian infrastructure. Major Kate Sullivan coordinated the return of asteroid belt facilities to their civilian covers. The mining stations that had revealed devastating military capabilities resumed their commercial operations. The dual-purpose equipment would continue extracting resources while remaining ready for future threats. Kate transmitted the standard cover report. "Ceres Station to Earth Control. All belt facilities are resuming normal mining operations. The Marsu alien incident caused no permanent damage to our industrial capabilities." Lieutenant Ben Parker supervised the return of Jupiter Station to its research cover. The weapon systems that had drawn power from the gas giant itself powered down and concealed themselves behind scientific instruments. The academic mission resumed its study of atmospheric phenomena. Ben filed his research report. Jupiter Station to Earth Control. The electromagnetic disturbance from the alien fleet provided excellent data for our atmospheric studies. Recommend continuing current research protocols. Dr. Brooks addressed President Campbell and her cabinet in the Situation Room. The immediate threat is over, but this is just the beginning. Word of what happened here will spread throughout the galaxy. Some species will avoid Earth out of fear. Others will seek alliance with us. A few might attempt revenge. Are we ready for that? Asked the president. We've been ready since before you were born. This solar system is the most heavily fortified location in the galaxy. But more importantly, we have allies. The peaceful species we've been working with for decades are now free to openly support us. General Carter looked confused. Allies. How many species are we talking about? 17 friendly civilizations that were being bullied by aggressive empires like the Zephyrians. They've been waiting for someone strong enough to stand up to the galactic bullies. Earth just proved that we're that someone. President Campbell realized the full scope of what had been hidden from public knowledge. So this was never about defending Earth from alien invasion.